I don't get a lot of moments to record, so a lot of these videos you're gonna see me in, I'm gonna be wearing the same thing. I promise that I shower and I change my clothes. So my entire life, I felt like I've always experienced things too intensely. Small goodbyes, little things that really shouldn't mean anything have always felt really intense to me on both sides of the spectrum, whether it's positive or negative. If it's a positive experience, it feels overwhelming sometimes and very emotional. To give you an example, the movie Logan, the Wolverine spin-off single movie, when he goes through that end phase, spoiler alert, where he's saving everyone and he's literally sacrificing every inch of his body to protect that little girl, I started just sobbing. And I wasn't a father yet. I was just sobbing because the level of sacrifice that he was able to give and show, and just it hit me a very certain way. And I remember walking out of that and driving home like crying. My wife was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, that experience was overwhelming for me. Like I couldn't just contain it and like compartmentalize. It felt real. So I've always felt like that. I've always there's several dozens of moments in my life where I can recall those sorts of memories. And I always looked at it as a curse, as like some sort of condition or some sort of, I wouldn't say disease because I don't think that makes sense, but it's always some sort of weakness. That's a good word for it. It's always been felt like a weakness because it felt like I couldn't control what I was feeling. But as I've become older and I've become a dad, it's not a weakness. It's a gift, but it doesn't mean that you can just let it run amok. It still means that you have to have control over it. And the hardest part about that, and this goes for any sort of impulsive behavior that I've ever had, and maybe you've had too, it's about putting space between the incident that causes the impulsive behavior and obviously the action that is created out of that impulsive behavior. It's about putting space there. It's about trying to create some sort of time where those two don't connect. And you do that by just separating yourself. And I've realized that I did this as a child as a defense mechanism by being quiet. If I felt a really intense moment and I was taught not to express that, I would put silence between me and what was going on. Now, I'm not saying I still do that perfectly. There's been moments raising my daughter where she exposes that part of me, and I've had to learn to just take a second to hear it but not react, or to see it or not to react. And again, not perfect with this, but it's something that I've learned becomes very, so for what I'm trying to say is, if you're somebody out there who has that same sort of tendency, who has a tendency to feel things very deeply and take things very seriously and emotionally, it's probably best to try to practice when those moments happen to your best ability. You don't have to be perfect, to just create 5 to 10 second space between when you feel it and when you're gonna react. If you can just cognitively think of that, it has helped me a little bit, and I've realized it's been nice. Now, what's interesting is that if the thing that is said or the thing that you see or the thing that happens hits the fight or flight part of you, I don't know that there's any cognitive dissonance that you can put or distance between yourself, because fight or flight is reactionary. It's reptilian brain. It's a snap of a finger. There's not necessarily an opportunity to put any space there, but you can still try. And having raised my daughter, I've realized how valuable that is.